Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We're the Skeleton Crew.
That we are.
And some of it. We're three-fifths of the Skeleton Crew. Yes. Dalton is indisposed. Amelia is indisposed. We, however, are disposed. And we're going to answer questions from February of 2025. It's August.
We were doing so well there for a while.
We were catching up.
We were, and now we're back to where we started. So, we're going to answer the questions. Amelia and Dalton did write out answers, so we will read them aloud for you guys, so you will find out what they feel about these things, and you'll hear from us as well.
And the best part is if they disagree, or we disagree with them, they're not here to defend themselves.
That is true. So if you want to submit a question for next month, which we'll get to at some point, you can join our Patreon at Basilosaurus tier or higher, and you can ask questions. That's pretty cool. Do we answer the questions? Yes. Within a year of you asking.
Yeah,
roughly.
And anyway, let's answer these questions.
Indeed.
Scott, would you question monger for us? And do you want to play the role of who wants to be Dalton and who wants to be Amelia? Actually, you know what? Because of the order, I'll do Amelia. You should do Dalton, Scott, because Dalton goes right after me in all of these.
Okay.
Well, monger me.
Let's kick us off here. So we start off with Dinosaur, who asks, what is each member's favorite sport? And what is your favorite team in said sport? And James...
This is a ridiculous question for all of us. All right. Well, surprising nobody, I'm not a huge sports guy. However...
No way.
I know. This is very, very shocking. I have enjoyed sporting events from time to time in my life. I actually really liked going to college hockey games while I was in college, but I've been trying to get into baseball because baseball offers the possibility of using a lot of math and statistics to enjoy a sport, and I think that's the most natural way for me to get in. I've been told by somebody very dear to me that I have to be a Mets fan. So pray for me. I am unhappy about that because I know I won't be happy about it, but apparently it is evil to support the Yankees.
It's also very easy to be a Mets fan. You just always manage your expectations and you're never disappointed.
Right, or you could support a team that occasionally wins.
No. I grew up in Michigan. I knew too many Detroit Lions fans. We don't do that here.
I see.
James is going to laugh like he understands that. No, he didn't. I'm proud of him.
No. I have no idea what he's talking about. I'm not going to pretend I understand. Maybe one day I will.
So Dalton answers that there's a few sports I enjoy watching, none of which I follow very closely. Probably my favorite would be American, correct, football. And my favorite team is the Broncos because I have been indoctrinated from a young age, which is very fair and valid and how this very frequently works.
That's true. That is how it works.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, mine is in that similar vein. I also really enjoy football, specifically American football, and specifically college football. I've never really gotten into pro football that much, but I love college football and Michigan Wolverines. Absolutely. Go Blue. Leaders in the best. I do... from time to time go out of my way to go to there's a Michigan bar in downtown Boston that I'll go and watch the games at and just yell and scream with people. It's great. It's a good time. And I also was indoctrinated at a young age, but I'm very happy that my parents did that because they chose the correct team. There is a very adorable picture of me as a very small baby wearing a little diaper cover that says my butt's going to Michigan, and it did. So yeah. Go Blue.
Well, I suppose I'm happy for you. I don't know.
I never missed a home game when I was at Michigan. Every single year I went to every single home game, and I only left one of them early, and that was because there was a 3.5 hour lightning delay. I was like, I'm going home.
That's fascinating, actually.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'll read Amelia's answer. Amelia says, I don't go out of my way to watch any sports, especially not on TV. But when I do go to games, it's more for the activity of being somewhere outside and hanging out with friends and family. I've been to a lot of Brewers baseball games as they're inexpensive and the stadium is great and has good food and beer. I like hockey as well, and we have a minor league team, the Admirals.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And now, Alex, what about you?
Well, friends, there's only one thing more embarrassing than someone who's into sports, who is someone who is very opposed to the idea of sports, which is incredibly embarrassing. I don't have like a favorite, but I try to like be generally aware of what's happening in at least American football and of course baseball, because it's sometimes nice to be able to talk to people about other things, or ask people what they're interested in. These notes for our viewers. No, I'm kidding. That being said, regionally, I always ask to see how the Mets are doing, which is almost always never. They were actually doing pretty well this year until like a few weeks ago. Well, what are they? 0 for 11, like 2 days ago. It's not great.
No, they're infrequently good.
Yes. Anyway, I find I enjoy like I don't know if event sports. Like I like watching the Olympics, I think, more than I like like necessarily keeping track of like a season, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about this from like Amelia's point of view, right? Would like her plane shows be? Is like that a sport? Is like I feel like trick flying is kind of like a sport, right?
Yeah, but like an air show generally, like Amelia goes to, isn't like competition trick flying. As far as
I'm just trying to keep an open mind.
That's fair.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call that a sport myself. But I can see the overlap.
I call it a sport. I just don't think it happens where Amelia's going. Amelia, if you watch this video, chime in and let us know.
Yeah, sound off in the comments if you're Amelia.
She shares like videos of like planes sometimes. Okay, anyway, the point here being is, there's a lot of fun stuff to watch. I think I like to play sports more than I like to watch sports, if I'm being honest.
That's fair.
It's fun. You do a little pickup game of like tennis, or you play something with your buds. It's something to do outside. I like to do like paddling and stuff, I guess. I've played one good game of basketball in my entire life, and that's where I was the tallest person playing.
They were children, or were you? Did you just?
I was in China.
Oh, I see.
It was awesome. I played with Joey Stiegler.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I can kind of see it.
Oh, good Lord.
All right, well.
It was fun.
Indeed.
So that's us on sports.
Absolutely. I know you were all curious.
Yeah.
Yes, but I do want to emphasize Alex's point. It is kind of very 2008 to do the whole sports ball thing.
Sports ball.
I think it's played out.
Yeah,
same. Yeah. I've been meaning to go to more. I think this upcoming season I'm going to go to more Harvard football games. They're pretty inexpensive, and honestly, the last time I went, when it was that Harvard Brown game that I kept texting you and Chris about, that neither of you cared at all.
I know how it's going to go.
Honestly, man, like it was a really good game. They played real well. It was just like not many people were there.
No. Be clear. I believe Harvard played real well.
But it was entertaining. They both actually played pretty damn good. Harvard won. Well, they played better, but it was still like
they usually do. Yeah.
It wasn't as embarrassing as I thought an Ivy League football game would be, where it was just like all of these computer science majors wandering around looking at a football like it's their first time that they've been let outside.
No, the Ivy League does actually recruit athletes, which is, They
understand the importance of keeping up appearances.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think
regardless of the fact that if their stadium is like the size of Michigan's student section.
Well, yes.
I want to amend my earlier statement just a tad. There is one thing that is also more embarrassing than being strongly anti-sports.
What?
And that's being a degenerate sports gambler.
That is correct.
Yes.
My brother has a bunch of friends who are like, were obsessed with it, and it was just the most like being around them for like more than 10 minutes was I would have rather pulled my hair out.
Yes, I do know people who are like, in my opinion, kind of destructively obsessed with sports, and I think that that's also bad. Don't be like that in either way.
Moderation is a good thing.
You can moderate.
Indeed. And I will moderate us on
Thank
to
you.
the next question, which is from Uber Eats Sugar Daddy, who asks, what is your all-time least favorite design in the entire Jurassic Park / World franchise, whether it is from the movies, games, etc.? I don't think we could have gotten a more polar opposite question to follow the sports one.
Hey, we don't choose the order. It's the order in which they're posted.
True.
Yeah, so the least favorite design of me.
Yes.
Wait, my least favorite design, Deinonychus. Ankylodocus is bad, but it's a fake dinosaur. And so I can just write it off the way I write off the D-Rex and the what is the thing? What's the horrible pug thing from Camp Cretaceous? Scorpius Rex?
Scorpius Rex,
sure.
yeah.
All of these things, I don't really care. Like, I think they're ugly and they look stupid, but like I can not think about them. I find the Deinonychus, and this, I feel very cringe saying this. I actually find it kind of insulting.
Yeah.
Just given how important Deinonychus is, both for like paleontology and also for the genesis of Jurassic Park, it just is kind of like, it feels like a little bit of like, okay, you think we care? Like, kind of thing. Specifically with it being that. So I think that's the worst one.
Mm-hmm. No, fair enough. Dalton, I believe if you are a watcher of this channel, you'll be able to predict his answer, which is Sinoceratops. Need I say more? Good answer, Dalton. And I will say, not to repeat previous answers, because I do very vehemently believe in you guys. Believe in you guys. What? I agree. I agree. I do very deeply agree. I agree in you guys. So, not to repeat previous answers, because those were very, very good ones from my good friends there. But I would say Dimorphodon, because it is the only critter in the series that is a real, actual animal, and had my friends asking me about it, assuming that it was a made-up weird mutant hybrid monster.
Yeah, that's a bad sign.
It's a bad sign. Yeah, I know I've told the story before, but when I left Jurassic World after seeing it with my friends in high school, or I guess now in early college, my friends were like, "Yeah, Scott, what was that weird like pterodactyl that had a T-Rex head on it? Was that another mutant dinosaur that they didn't talk about?" And they're like, "Nope. It's supposed to be a real thing."
Supposed to being the operative word there, I suppose,
the operative
right?
word. Yes, very much.
Don't that beat all?
True. Yeah. Alrighty. Amelia's turn.
Okay, well, Amelia said, yeah, all of the above. I'm sure there's something else I'm forgetting as well, but those are the main ones. The Ankylosaurus or Ankylosaurus as well. Sucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I'm going to restrict it mostly to the films, though the Deinonychus does blow. If you designed it and you're watching this video, I'm sorry that, but I'm sure you've actually heard that many times, and that I pity you if it still stings to hear it.
The only thing that lightened our mood discussing it was Henry Kissinger's death moments before we started recording the episode.
It was
God,
cool.
that was so funny.
No, the Sinoceratops is bad. Honestly, I really have never liked the Dilophosaurus.
I remember this unpopular opinion of yours.
It's okay in the first movie, and that's because its weird leathery neck little puppet looks good for like a second in the dark. But every single time it's shown up since then, it's looked like it's like the animal in the films that's just the least like it's not even remotely approaching what the animal is. And it's always bothered me. If we go outside of that into like back into the games, oh god, the Liopleurodon's awful too. There are so There's so many to choose.
bad.
But yeah, that's my. I'm not gonna. Is that a cat? What the?
Yes, that's a cat.
Oh, right,
that
you
is
have
my
cats.
that is my cat. He's mad that I didn't let him open in my closet where fishing stuff is.
I see. Isn't that interesting? Yes. So, yeah, that's to say I had a least
Yeah.
like a least favorite implies I think a lot about these designs a lot, which I don't until the moment we start these videos. Actually,
Well, fair enough. Alrighty. Well, there's that one. Now let's move on to Regalis's question, which is, what makes good paleo art in our opinion?
ooh,
And James, you're up to bat first.
So, the best paleo art is good art. Okay? If we're judging between something that's a little bit anatomically inaccurate but is really good art and something that's just anatomically perfect but is boring, I prefer the good art to that every time. That does not mean that they are opposed to each other, and you can have both. And I think the best paleo art does have both, but it's being good art. You want something that is both beautiful and dramatic and scientifically informative. I have Doug Henderson pieces behind me. I like his art a lot.
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good answer.
Very good answer. Dalton says, ditto to what James said. I think a lot of it comes down to lighting, composition, and the dynamics of a scene, as well as rendering of the background and surroundings, not their accuracy, mind you. And I said that my friends are wise and agree, but given that Dalton couldn't expound, I will. A lot of the paleo art pieces that really have stuck in my head are ones that are very visually striking and not necessarily ones that are the absolute positively most completely rigorously done. Not to say that they aren't rigorously done, but like while there are pieces by Julio Lacerda, who again just has a time machine and a very good camera and takes wonderful photos of real animals. There's also like Charles Knight's Leaping Laylaps and John Gauch's Barosaurus. Like, it's like are those the most accurate pieces, or James Gertie's like Skybacks and Quetzalcoatlus? Is that exactly what we think that Quetzalcoatlus might have looked like? No, not 100%. But like, man, that is kind of what I think of when I think of those animals. And like, those are pieces that stick with me and that I really, really keep revisiting whenever I'm thinking of depictions of these animals.
Yeah.
Amelia also agrees. Accuracy or lack thereof is essentially never a problem for me unless it's ugly or actively distracting. I'm not hunting for inaccuracy when I engage with paleo and other paleo media, so unless it's glaring, it doesn't bother me. Lighting, texture, reading verbatim as she wrote the word texture. Misspelled here. Sorry. Lighting, texture, composition, and all of that makes a huge difference.
Here's my controversial take on paleo art. Shouldn't it just be like called art?
How
Right,
could you
I
say
feel
something
like-
so controversial?
I feel like affording it's this like own niche thing has convinced a lot of people of some kind of elite erudite opinion that paleo artists have, which I find incredibly exhausting.
I'd push back against that a little bit, but please continue.
It's just like, it's what makes any, like, it's basically what everyone said. It's what makes any art good, which is, do I look at it and does it make me feel something?
Yeah.
And generally, I mean, in this case, I'm going to say, does it make me feel something not besides hate and frustration? Because sometimes good art can do that, but in the case of if I want to look at like a cool dinosaur thing, I guess I don't want to be feeling miserable. I think what usually goes a long way for me are landscapes or like natural environments. Like I find that I respond really well to like mural scenes, even if they're a little more dense than they should be, or more realistic. I like feeling like, oh, I'm looking at a place that really could have existed, or like or even something moody with like lighting. It's
one of the reasons why I like Gurney's pieces and Henderson's pieces so much.
Yeah, it's like that's the hard part. It's like, oh, how do you define what is good art? It's very hard to. It does often kind of boil down to how it makes you feel. So I like art that makes me feel good.
Yeah. So
and species I like or have worked on.
Oh yes. No. Yeah. That's good to hear that we're pretty much in agreement on that.
Indeed.
I'm kind of not surprised.
What is the alternative answer there? That like, oh, other kind of paleo art I like is the bad kind. Oh, come on.
All right, next one.
Although if someone did, that's actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about like what is the paleo? There I go. What is the paleo art equivalent of
Piss Christ
of War of the Worlds 2005?
Oh, it's the Jurassic World Deinonychus.
No, and I was thinking about like the silly, like the Yi.
Oh yeah,
and that does recursively, like that is so bad it's good. So
is it paleo art?
Is it a dinosaur?
It is. well,
it's
I don't know.
Supposed to be. Well, I guess that's hell. That's a question that comes up in like every time, like any like paleo art server. It's just like, all right, if you do something that's weird and cartoony enough, is it still paleo art? If it's just a dinosaur, is Barney paleo art? Debate in the comments.
It's not.
I think it should probably have to be set during prehistory.
What about Simon Stalenhag's like Tales from the Loop that have really nice dinosaurs, but they're in modern day?
I don't know who that is.
What Dinotopia then?
Oh. See, I would actually probably say Dinotopia is more like fantasy than with dinosaurs in it. It's like D&D, where like D&D, like it's good, it's better than that, but because like so much of Dinotopia is also like the cool like world and like the city and like all the thought behind it with cool dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. There's tons of overlap. Why? Yeah, we probably don't have to.
Well, what about the next question?
Indeed. So the next question's from Dinodom here, who asks, I know we have heard it in the background, but what pets does everybody have currently, and what have you owned / lived with in the past? I might preempt this one a little bit just because one is right here. This is Jake. I have 2 cats, Jake and Elwood. They are named after the Blues Brothers because they are tuxedo cats, and they are also brothers. He's a sweetie, even if he gets into a lot of trouble and property damage. But I love him very much.
Wow. Can a guy just have fun? We gotta label it property damage. Come on.
When he keeps like eating my shoelaces and chewing holes in pieces of clothing that I leave out, I do call it property damage when I need to buy new T-shirts.
Yeah, fair
and
enough.
Socks.
James has a pet.
I do. I have, in fact, 4 by my count right now.
What?
I know. I live with my family, so we have 2 family dogs. I wouldn't say they're mine exactly, but they are in the house that I live in. We have a cat who's also not really mine, family cat. The cat's wonderful. The cat's my favorite. And I have a snake. The snake is not my favorite. I'm fond of the snake, but
The snake is mean.
the snake's not that mean.
I thought you had 2 snakes.
I do not have 2 snakes anymore.
When?
I left Huxley behind when I moved out of North Carolina. I mean, I didn't just abandon him. I left him with a lab mate.
Oh my God, yes, you did. When we visited last, I just straight up thought that Huxley was in a different room and I didn't see him. I just completely forgot.
Huxley died on the way back to his home planet.
Huxley went to live on a farm upstate.
Yeah, no, Huxley's apparently doing well. But my lab mate, had always been afraid of snakes for his whole life, and then wound up holding one, I think, in the field or something, and got really, really into snakes and really wanted one. And I didn't really want to handle moving both of them back to New York with me, so I just was like, you know what? It seems like you're ready for Huxley, and so I trust you to take care of him. And so as far as I know, he's being taken care of. But that is awesome. the debatably good or bad, depending on your perspective, thing about animals or reptiles as pets is it's not, I would never get rid of a dog or a cat. And I'm very fond of the reptiles, but it doesn't feel it's not the same.
Well, the best part about a pet reptile or a pet fish is you can just release them directly into the wild of wherever you live, and there will never be a downside. Do it. Exactly,
Alex. Everybody is saying this.
I have many times entertained the idea of releasing if the lab were to get, we had all those alligator embryos, which we can't, they don't hatch, but shepherding one away and releasing it in Mill River Park. It'd be so cool
to just suddenly have an alligator there, only you know where it came from.
And I go and visit him sometimes.
On today's Q&A, on today's Q&A, Alex just openly fantasizes about living in Lake Placid.
A little. Oh my God. There are rumored to be Amazon river fish in the Hartford River. It's not like the wild is dead. It doesn't exist anymore. It's time to mix it up. I'm rewilding Connecticut. I'm doing megafauna.
Alex, I really should have had you in mind when my friend a while ago messaged me about that Cuvier's dwarf caiman that they found on the Esplanade in Boston.
What?
That sounds awesome.
Wait. James, I showed you this.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay. What happened to the Cuvier's dwarf caiman on the Esplanade?
Nothing. It disappeared.
So it's definitely somebody's pet now. Okay.
100%. Let me find it real quick.
Ah.
Okay.
That is so cool.
And I immediately was just like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? And then I tried to tell her keep an eye on it, please be stay right there. I was ready to run down there, hop on, grab an Uber, go right there and grab this thing.
And it ran away. It's impressive that it ran, actually.
I mean, from the look of it, it looks pretty immature. It probably just it scuttled off real quick. And
I see. Yeah. It's a shame.
Yeah, seriously.
Were you going to keep it?
No.
What were you going to do with it?
Oh, I was going to contact our herpetologist and see, hey, do you know, you guys probably know herpers in the area. Do you know if this is anyone's pet?
That's a fair point. Yeah. So I talked about my pets and Scott talked about his. Did you read Dalton's answer, Scott?
I did not. So Dalton says that he currently has a cat and has 2 dogs back at home. But in the past, he's had 2 geckos, a snake, a bearded dragon, and 8 dogs and 5 cats. Dalton has had a menagerie. Oh, I forgot that there was the portion of the question of what have you owned / lived with in the past. So I'll amend mine as well, which is in addition to my 2 gremlin cats that I have right now, my family has a dog, and we've had 2 dogs before that. I've also had a corn snake and then another corn snake that I joint owned with James for approximately 3 months.
Cool.
Oh, it was less than that.
It was less than that.
It was about a month.
Man.
Rip Zia.
Rip Zia. And then I also had an African fat-tailed gecko.
Cool.
Yeah. And both the first, I was going to say that I guess it would be a correct statement to say that all of the reptiles that I owned ended up in museums. But two of them ended up in collections. So
One ended up in the trash. Well, one ended up in the glue trap, and then the glue trap with the snake wound up in the trash.
Didn't they CT scan her?
No, I tried to get the body to do it.
Oh yeah. That's what it was.
Because all of this happened while I wasn't around. But apparently herpetology immediately on because they brought it down to herpetology. It was a dead baby corn snake on a glue trap. Because she had escaped from the tank. And because Paul Sereno's thesis, which I was using Paul Sereno's thesis as a weight to hold the screen of the tank on. And
if he had written more,
it wasn't long enough.
It's his fault,
Paul. I think that makes me the only person who's allowed to make a Paul Sereno doesn't write enough papers joke, even though I do not believe that. But I think, you and me, Scott.
Hey, me too. Yeah.
Anyway. So they found the dead snake on a glue trap, and then I received a picture of this from Mark Norell with in an email with the subject line, "We found your snake." Then by the time I made it up to the department, they had already brought the snake to herpetology and were like, "You should accession this." And herpetology was like, "No," and they just threw it out. And that was the story.
Well, how about that?
It was terrible. Just to amend my prior answer, we've had many dogs in my house. We've had several cats. I had an anole for a couple of months until it died.
That's what anoles do.
What? Oh, yeah. Gotcha, Alex. Sorry, it took me a second. What else did we have? We had a beta fish at one point. I watched that one die because we saw he wasn't doing well, and then we just saw him just sink to the bottom of his little tank. It was honestly a terrible moment. Many dogs, lots of cats, a couple of exotics, but not a lot.
Cool.
Yeah. Did you want to hear about death?
Death.
Animals. What pets did I have? Not many. We currently have a very old dog. I suspect that the next time we do a Q&A, we might not anymore. I had a corn.
It sounds like it's time.
It's where it's like it could be like a week, it could be like months.
I see.
Hard to tell. At a young age, I had a corn snake that I had for 10 days, and that it died. And that taught me at an important young age to not form attachments to living things, because they'll hollow you out. No, I'm kidding. But that was very sad. My brother had some hamsters and guinea pigs. I had a Pac-Man frog for a while, which was cool. I lived with Al, who was the first cat I lived with. That was Dalton's Al. And Al.
You lived with Dalton?
I don't consider him a pet, but okay. But Al was an absolute sweetie. I liked him a lot. And now he's gone, and I'm attempting to fill the void left behind by him and Dalton. And to do that, I've got a new pet, which lives inside me because of symbols I've carved under my eyelids and on the insides of my mouth to make sure it doesn't come out.
Huh.
Anyway.
All right. Amelia says, growing up, I've had fish, geckos, cats, dogs, a newt at one point, and currently she has a cat, a leopard gecko, and 2 very old 15-year-old fire-belly toads.
I think that's underselling the size of that cat.
That's a very large cat. Well, no. I think that's her family cat. She's talking about her cat.
Oh,
You're
I
thinking of
see.
Miles,
I
not
am.
Vito.
I left
Yeah.
that house with maybe 10 pounds of cat hair on all my things, and that's maybe only 20% of that cat's weight.
That's a big cat.
I absolutely love. I was relating this to one of my friends the other day of when Dalton first met Al and was holding him, it was sitting on the ground holding him like a baby, and I just, in a quiet moment, just hear him say under his breath, "There's so much of you," and it was
Wait, Al or Amelia's cat?
Miles, Amelia's cat.
Gotcha.
There is a lot of him.
It was a great moment.
No, cats are one of the best animals. When they get like there are different animals and like different degrees of overweight, where it's like sometimes it's kind of depressing versus sometimes it's very funny. And cats are one of the best fat animals.
They're very good, chunky. Although
We love it,
trying
folks.
to keep my boys trim. They do a lot of running around, so I think they get enough cardio for it. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, there goes that one on the animal companions that we've had, and off to Nick, the local ARC nerd, who asked, "What are y'all's hopes for the future of paleo media, movies, games, shows, etc.?" And up first is James.
So I just want more. And I would really hope that we get another popular franchise that's not Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with Jurassic Park, but dinosaurs is a big area. We can have more than one. It doesn't just need to be a one IP field. It would be great if one of these becomes like a big enough hit that it inspires like more people to do something. I think Jurassic Park is such a cultural property at this point that it can't like hit that big again. Not that the movies aren't successful and people don't like them, but like it's not going to generate its own Dinomania. Whereas possibly you could get a new Dinomania from like, from a new franchise. That would be nice. I would like that. But I just generally want to see more people making movies with dinosaurs. I think that would be great.
Did you see the clip of that I sent you earlier on Twitter?
Primitive War is not going to be it.
I still firmly believe that a new Dinomania could be spawned by an actually phenomenal, really, really high effort Dinotopia thing.
Interesting.
But Dalton says, "I don't know. I'll come back to this one."
Cool.
That is what Dalton says.
Well, Dalton likes dinosaur things, and I think his answer would be good. Some good stuff.
Yeah.
I have an opinion on this.
Go, please.
I think it's good for the field when there's, it's good for them to come out. The kinds I would like to see are the ones where someone asks me, "Would you like to advise on our series?" And I say yes. So that's the kind that I'm most interested in.
That's also the kind I'm most interested in.
But I also have, and I don't want to say a nihilistic thought, but I will, because it is. I think it's very unlikely in our lifetimes. I don't want to say in our lifetimes. I think it's very unlikely in the next 2 decades that anything even remotely similar to the Jurassic Park Dinomania happens. And here's why. One, actually, I think this would be true with or without the current attitude of the country I live in towards science, which is that the average American has the beliefs of like a peasant from 15th century Germany. I think even if everything was cool and better, this would still be true, which is I think a lot of the Dinomania that emerged from Jurassic Park is just because how radical the change in perception on what dinosaurs were, what was that happened with Jurassic Park. Which is like fundamentally like a changing vision of the past. Like, oh no, not slow lizards, cool, big. Also, they're kind of sort of like birds. And I just think, like, honestly, the distance between like what we think about dinosaurs now versus when Jurassic Park came out in the 90s is not nearly as big as that gulf between where like Jurassic Park was and like the public perception of dinosaurs at the time. And unfortunately, because everyone's doing very good science, I think we're closing in on a lot of important pieces of, we're never going to know everything or even most of everything. But I suspect that I think for something to hit with the same degree as Jurassic Park in terms of Dinotopia, you would actually have to stop making dino media that's like widely and publicly consumed for like 30 years. So that like the public perception is just like, you are playing more than catch up. It is like, whoa, what's been going on for 30 years? But because these things make money, and I don't think that'll ever happen.
I don't think you're going to get something the same way you got it with Jurassic Park, but I guess what I mean more is like every few years there's a new movie about space that makes a lot of people really excited about space.
Yeah.
And that's a good like tonic level of stuff to have. We went a long time without any major media property involving dinosaurs at all. And nowadays it's only Jurassic Park movies that like everybody kind of agrees are not that great. Like, I mean, like,
I don't think everyone agrees that.
Many people, I mean, they're all financially successful, but I've never heard anybody be like, yes, I think these are as good as the original Jurassic Park movies. They're pretty much only what?
People watch them, they're like, oh, that was fun, and then they don't think about them again.
Well, right. I think they don't have any, like, not to sound like the people who criticize Avatar, but they don't have any cultural impact. They happen and people watch them. I think it would be possible for a dinosaur-based series to resonate with people if it's a strong enough series. I don't think it would change the way that we like. I don't think it would lead to something as like groundbreaking and incredible as the original Jurassic Park release, but I think you could have something where, dinosaurs are just more in the consciousness. It kind of keeps people excited about them, which would be also good. It would just be great if people were excited about science, I suppose. And I don't think it's an impossible ask.
Absolutely.
Even if it's not a likely one.
Fair. I will also just agree with James on here. I guess I'll agree with both of you guys. Dinosaurs are not the sole realm of the Jurassic franchise. Love to see more media utilizing them to tell different stories. I do actually. I really like how like gaming has pretty consistently had a bunch of different games that feature dinosaurs in different ways every couple months for quite a while. Everything from just like park builders like Prehistoric Kingdom to like cozy farming sims like Paleo Pines to like management style games, and there's things like Amber Isle. There's things that are leaning more towards simulation like Goodlands. There's a lot of different ground that you can cover with dinosaurs in video games that people are taking advantage of, and I'm really enjoying it. And even if you want to stretch the definitions of dinosaurs and be like, oh yeah, Monster Hunter and stuff, that like there's a lot of designs in that game that are basically that's just a dinosaur, and it's fun and it's interesting and it's cool. Yes. And I really like it. I also I'm a little bit maybe getting some doses of hopium because it seems like Capcom is releasing some new merch around Dino Crisis. And why would they do that? Please God, give us another Dino Crisis game. I really want another Resident Evil style dinosaur game, especially with how good the recent Resident Evil games have been.
They have been good. They're fun.
Please God, I want that so bad. And like, and another, speaking of, for like a survival horror game, there was, to very specifically date when we recorded this video, there was a new behind the scenes featurette on Jurassic Park Survival that came out today, and it looks rad. It looks super fun. And I'm really looking forward to playing that game when it comes out. It seems like they put a whole lot of effort into it. And it's like we talked about with like Rebirth and some of the Jurassic franchise things. It looks like they cared. There are things where it's just like, wow, you didn't need to go so hard with that design, but like you really clearly love this franchise to be like, no. What would this building that we didn't see look like? Keeping the same design ideas and stuff. It's neat. Love it. Absolutely love it.
That is neat.
And lastly,
Don't
Amelia.
that beat all?
Yes. Amelia says, I think there's a lot of potential in Ice Age / human megafauna interaction for one.
Ooh, yes.
That apparently wasn't realized in whatever that recent one was, by which I think she means the movie that Scott and I didn't see in Texas.
Yeah.
Ice Age?
Ice Age. Continental
Ice Age.
Drift. What's it called?
Now featured in Alien Earth.
Or so I've heard.
It's awesome.
Out of Darkness.
Yeah.
It managed to be, honestly, I had a good time with it, but I did think it was kind of impressive that it managed to be a movie set in the Ice Age that features a family group of hunter-gatherers that are trying to find food and survive, and notably features literally 0 animals.
Wrong. There's a dead woolly mammoth.
There is a dead woolly mammoth. 0 alive animals.
Well, that would cost budget, and I don't think they had that.
I don't think so either. I do think that like with 0 budget, they did a good job with what they had, but also like, man, would have loved to see some critters in that.
Yeah, that was just generally the impression I was getting from it. But anyway, yeah, so she says that, and she also says other non-modern human interaction stories would be great as well, but would involve some time wobbliness, like pirates experiencing things on the Western Interior Seaway, Knights versus as Darkids, etc.
That's a quick movie.
Yes.
I don't think the Knights win.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
The Starkid is made of air.
They have crossbows.
Takes a long time to reload.
Well, or longbows.
There you go. Less of a
Also,
long
I'm curious
time.
how chainmail would do against like. Oh, these are things that a film could explore.
A Hollywood screenwriter who's not us.
Yes. Also, I don't think they would be particularly interesting to explore, but go for it. There are a lot of dumb things that get made, and they're fun.
That's the spirit.
Well, thank you for the question, Nick.
Yes.
We move on to Dino Nerd 1. How many natural history museums has each member of the skeleton crew been to? How many were those, and how many of those were primarily for furthering your research versus just there to visit the museum? Which natural history have you been to that is at the top, that you have not been to is at the top of your bucket list?
This is a good question.
It is. So for me, most museums that I've been to for work, I did go to first as a visitor.
Yeah.
There are more I've been to as a visitor than worked at because I haven't been back to every museum I ever visited as a kid to do research there. So I have never done research at the Denver Museum or the British Museum, but I have been. Trying to think. It does depend on exactly what you call a museum also, but assuming a fairly normal definition, my estimate that I wrote down is about 20. I know Scott seems to think I'm lowballing here, but it's
I think, yeah, you probably are.
I really think you're lowballing there.
Maybe. I'm not remembering all of them, but there are a number of small ones out west in particular I definitely have not been to. But is a museum with is anything with taxidermy and animals a natural history museum? Tiny
they're
regional
usually
things?
called a natural history museum.
Thank you, Alex. Anyway, I'll count while Scott reads his own answer.
Yeah. Oh, do you have a bucket list one?
Oh, anything in China, like IVPP.
Oh, that's fair.
I want to see them desperately.
Well, they don't have a museum.
Well, I bet there are many museums in China, but what I'm
Yes,
talking about
they
is
do.
collections at IVPP in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see them.
I think that, so like previously said, I think James is lowballing. A while ago when we were answering the questions for this in the document, over the course of a couple days, I just kind of tried to think through every museum that I have been to and list them all out in an Excel document. And I've been to upwards of 30. I want to say it was like 34, 35, something like that. It was more than I would have guessed. But it was just like, after a while thinking through everything and like looking up lists of natural history museums in the US and stuff, and it was like, no, I've been to a ton of these. So yeah, almost all of them were for fun because I don't do that type of research, but several were for work or conference. And pretty much rule of thumb, if I'm visiting a new town or city or something and they have a natural history museum there, I would want to try to visit it. I was very sad that when I had my layover in Shanghai coming back from SVP in Brisbane, I didn't get a chance to check out the Shanghai Museum of Natural History because it looks absolutely stunning. But honestly, I know that this one's on the more attainable side. But I do think that my bucket list natural history museum at the moment is it's got to be the Tyrrell. I have not been.
Yeah. Oh,
God, I can't believe you haven't been.
I know.
I don't think I've been to the Tyrrell.
No, I know you haven't been.
When I think I've told the story before, but when there was the SVP in Calgary, it was before Dalton and I were 25, so we couldn't rent cars, and we were trying to see if we could skip a day of the conference and convince someone to take us to rent a car for us to drive to the museum, and we couldn't find anyone, so
yeah, no, I mean,
didn't get a chance.
Tyrrell's amazing. I just counted. I think I got about 25. That might not be complete. No, 26. 26. That's my count. Yeah. No, 27. Hold on. Maybe this is going to keep happening. I guess it also depends. Like something like the National Museum of Scotland has dinosaurs on display. It doesn't end in natural history. Do you count it?
That's a natural history museum, yeah.
I would call that a natural history museum.
Then it's probably closer to 30 or 35.
Like I was calling places like there was, I forget the name of the college, but out in Wyoming when Vern Lee and I went out there to do field work at the AMNH, like one of the local colleges. It wasn't like fully listed as a natural history museum, but they had a bunch of prehistoric critter skeleton casts and like a room of taxidermy and stuff. But it was just like these were the displays at that university. But like I'd call that a natural history museum.
Right. Yeah, so I guess in that case, there's more than I had said.
Who else stands to answer this?
Amelia does. Dalton did not answer.
Right, Amelia. So she says, for work, I've been to 22. For just fun, add 5 more.
Okay.
Very good.
Counting in my head, at this point, it's usually both. So I don't think I could differentiate between the two because I think most of the ones I will have went to for fun, I've been back to for work or did work when I was there. But it's easily past 30. It's like 12 outside of the United States. So And then I was counting the US. So I'm at least at 33 or 34. And that's helped a lot by the road trip we did, where we stopped at a ton of museums, that part of Yale. The best one I've ever been to always the American Museum of Natural History in New York. And yeah, I think the Tyrrell is probably the top of my list in terms of what I'd like to get to next. I'm really, really interested in those replicants.
This is a Blade Runner 2049.
The Tyrrell Corporation.
Right. Well, Alex, if you're actually interested in seeing the museum, perhaps we could combine forces sometime, because I need to go back very badly. If you don't want to go, that's fine. I'll go alone.
I mean, I'd like to.
I get how it is.
But, there's lots of places to go.
There are. Lots of crocs and theropods there, though.
That's true.
Very nice.
Anyway.
Well, thank you for that question, Dino Nerd. And moving on, we have a question from Wheat, who asks, once the last creature from JWE2 is discussed, man, that's dating this. Do you intend on updating the specific tier placements? Like who in C tier is better? And we have a group answer to this.
Yes, right.
We do. And it is, we are going to do a retrospective at some point and may make some adjustments, but we're not re-ranking everything.
No.
Yeah.
And you know what comes out in like 2 months?
The
new one, which we know will have new things in it.
But Alex, consider, what if I don't want it to? I'm actually very excited, especially now that Psittacosaurus is in it. Somebody on Twitter asked me if it's Psittacosaurus amataba. There is no way to know.
I thought it looks like Spa,
it kind of just looks like Spa.
It looks like Spa. Well, they all look the same. They're all.
But it's like colored and quilled as Spa.
Yes, I'm sure it's Spa. It also it's fine. I like Psittacosaurus in general.
Also,
well, they all look like Spa unless it's Sibericus, which that one looks different.
Yes.
That's the one that looks a little different. Yeah, that's
very
true.
Cool. Also, we're talking shop. What we mean, viewer, is that cool specimen of Psittacosaurus that has the cloaca and the color and the quills does not currently belong to a species. Psittacosaurus Spa.
Right. Also, it's of dubious legality, as I've said.
I think that's part of the reason that it hasn't been referred to a species is that it was probably poached.
Right.
Almost certainly poached.
But that's not our battle to fight. But that looks great. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. But I just don't want to. We're not re-ranking designs again. We're not doing this again.
Nope. And we're not doing I want to be very clear. We are also not doing the male or females of existing designs from that game.
No, we're not.
Or the juveniles, unless they're basically a different animal.
Right. Juvenile's basically a different animal.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, you shut up.
Whoa, what?
What am I, a paleontologist?
Thank you very much, Wheat, for that. And stay tuned.
Good job asking
for that
question.
Upcoming video. And to close us out tonight, we have Touch Connors asking. Honestly, I'm very sad. I wish that Dalton and Amelia were here
I do too.
Answer this question themselves. There are 5 JP sequels. I'm counting the Jurassic World movies, and there are 5 of you. Could each of you take one of the movies and choose one thing to change to improve them? The first movie isn't in the conversation because it's perfect.
Okay. So,
and James, kick us off.
So I took The Lost World. I rewatched The Lost World recently. My girlfriend had not seen it, so I showed it to her. She did fall asleep in the middle, but she's a sleepy person. That's pretty normal.
Kalani is, yes.
Yes. I think she thought it was fine. I have a general appreciation for The Lost World. I think the concept behind it is actually pretty good. I think there are issues with the way it's executed, but I don't think it's a fundamentally bad idea for a movie. Like most of the Jurassic Park sequels are, where I think they have fundamental issues with, like, why is this the premise?
Mm-hmm.
So I think there were a few key scenes that were deleted that I think were really important in establishing who the characters were and how you should view them. So like there's the deleted scene on the DVD of Roland Tembo beating a man in a bar after he harassed a waitress. And I think
I didn't know that
he like breaks the guy's jaw instantly. And it's a very interesting scene to, I think, establish that even though he's going to be the leader of the bad guys, he's like, while a very rough person, is somebody with a moral compass. You know, I like that. I think that's important. Also, the deleted scene, which is only attested to by screenshots from the movie, like from production, where the baby T-Rex's leg breaks because Peter Ludlow gets drunk and falls on it. And yes, they did not intentionally break its leg. He actually trips and falls onto it. And there's like a scene, there's a single shot from this like deleted thing that never made it into the movie where you see him like mid falling onto the baby T-Rex, which is like tied up and screaming. So again, these are
you're teaching me about things about this movie I did not know. This is crazy. I thought I knew everything about this.
I think there are important things in there. I think I think it's important in establishing that the bad guys aren't performatively cruel, but Peter Ludlow is irresponsible more than anything, and that's what's going to cause the problems here. He's not exactly Hammond, but he's also more Hammond-like. It's a younger, more brash version where instead of Hammond being kind and grandfatherly but short-sighted, as he's portrayed in Jurassic Park, the movie, he's somebody who's dangerous mostly because he's he's got bad judgment, right? He's getting drunk and he falls on something. It causes a big problem for everybody because of that accident, but it's not this performative cruelty of like they just break its leg for the hell of it. I don't know. I think that those are good things that would help with some of the characterization. I think there are writing issues. Sarah Harding doesn't get consistent characterization. She's talked about as being both a paleontologist and like a modern animal behavioral biologist. And she's like said to have spent a lot of her life living in the bush with predatory animals, and then makes a lot of very silly decisions about like keeping the blood of a baby T-Rex on her shirt and walking around with it and leading the dinosaurs back to the group. I think those things they kind of undermine her characterization and make her feel dumb. And I don't think that's the intention. I think they're just writing problems. Nick Van Owen also barely gets like the characterization he needs. So you don't really know what his deal is. Mm-hmm. It's kind of alluded to. I like the idea of him as a character, but you need more stuff. The most reviled scene in this movie is, of course, the gymnastics scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's bad, but I think it breaks a rule of the franchise. And I think that because the dinosaurs fundamentally symbolize natural forces that humans can't control, you can't kill a dinosaur in a Jurassic Park movie unless you're Scarlett Johansson and you just shoot it. And I think that came close, but it's a mutant dinosaur, so it doesn't matter. I think it's one of these unwritten rules. It's like how Die Hard movies need to be in tight, constrained areas, and that's like the DNA of the franchise. Jurassic Park movies should be at night and in the rain when bad things are happening, and they should have forces that we can't really fight back against. So you can escape the dinosaurs, you can't hurt them. Really, you can't fight them. And I think that the gymnastics thing violates that rule. And I think that's the main reason people dislike it. It's something that's set up and has a payoff. And it's just shot in a way that also makes it go on for a little bit too long. But that's an easy fix.
I don't think that the Scarlett Johansson scene necessarily breaks that rule.
No, I don't think so either.
Because, it's like in Jurassic World, they have that scene where like the T-Rex fights the Indominus.
Well, right.
And she worked for Blackwater, so she's not a human. She's like a monster.
Right.
She's a scary monster.
Right. That was good. That was very good.
I like that.
I had to Google. I was like, wait, which one is it? Blackstone, Blackrock, or Blackwater? Which one? Which one? There are too many. They're all the same. They sound too much alike.
Right. The idea of a rock that's black is just so appealing to everybody.
Well, it's George R.R. Martin doing world building outside of Essos, where he's like, oh yeah, everything is an H.P. Lovecraft story. There's a big black stone.
Right.
James, also to your point there, that is something that with Sarah Harding's character, that is something that like for all the fun that we have poked at the Lost World novel, justifiably. That is something that
Right.
Crichton just gets right, is that like she is honestly the kind of level of, I wouldn't say cold, but detached that you get when you're a wildlife biologist, where like you've been around like the death of animals and like predation enough that you just kind of get how it works.
Right.
And like I very much remember like in the scene where like it's the baby the T-Rex, the broken leg, that they're just like, oh, we're trying to fix it and stuff. Well, it's the younger kid who didn't make the cut into the movie.
Right.
That he's like, are you going to help it? And she just kind of looks at it. It was just like, it's a bipedal predator with a broken leg. It's probably not going to heal properly. It's just gonna it's not going to get enough nutrients. It's going to die and be eaten by its hatchling, by its nestmates. Like, I'm sorry, that's just kind of how it's going to happen.
Right.
And it's like, yeah. And then it's him, the impulsive kid, who's like, but I thought we could save it. And it's like, well, it's here.
Right. Yeah, I think the problem is also that they mix her character with Richard Levine, who is
that's him.
Right.
Yes.
Well, he's not the impulsive kid. That kid is a different character. His name is Arby.
I thought it was Levine.
Levine is the paleontologist who's like a young. Levine is a paleontologist who's the guy who's on the island who they go to like save, and he's somebody who like contacted Malcolm and like got close to him after the Jurassic Park incident. Yeah. And he's supposed to be an irresponsible dumbass. And I think they had to like combine the two characters, so they made it that he goes to the island to find his girlfriend. But then like also kind of have to therefore roll in all of these dumb traits, and that creates a problem in the character. I also think the Lost World novel is good. I think it's a mean-spirited novel, but I think it's a good one. Even if it's not quite, neither one is quite Jurassic Park. But anyway, my basic point is I think that the core of a pretty good movie is in the Lost World, and I don't think it's perfect by any means, and I think there's a lot of areas where it wasn't executed right, but I don't think there's anything inherent about it that has to be changed. I think there's a lot of small tweaks that would probably make it better. Also, the rampage in San Diego is cool, and it's a good part of the... it's not tacked on, and it's not stupid. It fits in the themes of what's being talked about a lot. You don't remove that, you keep it as is. It's neat.
I like the part when the T-Rex eats the screenwriter.
Right. I like that part, too. I also like the part where the T-Rex doesn't get shot by the police.
Yes, me too.
They all just run away. I think that was very funny. The animal control truck driving away, I think, is great.
That's a really good sight gag of just the tiny little animal control.
Right. Like, just getting out of there as fast as possible.
I really, that honestly, that has always been one of my favorite little bits of that movie, because it hints at a conversation that I can imagine, right, of just like, you're telling me there's an escaped animal down at the docks? Ah, well, all right, let's go get the wagon.
Right, we're on it. It's great. So anyway, in summary, I think the issue is you need to do the characters better, you need to characterize them more consistently, and you need to reincorporate some scenes that cast important context on who the characters are and what they are doing. And I think that if you have that, you're probably okay.
Fair enough. Well, very good points there, James. But unlike you, I can count, and I will choose just one thing. And I think that you just chose three.
Well, whatever. My movie can actually be saved.
So I picked Jurassic Park 3. And I think that a way to make this a better movie is to focus on the story of the shipwrecked kid. I think I also wish that it would be taken a little bit more like high stakes, not seriously, but like, when I say focus on the story of the shipwrecked kid, I don't mean like I really, really, really want a scene where he collects pee from a T-Rex. Like, I don't want to see that? I don't want to see that. I don't care. But like being a kid trying to like scrounge to like survive on an island full of dinosaurs, I think you could do that in a very interesting, very heart-pounding way.
Yeah, probably. It's like kind of like, like it wouldn't be like cool. Well, no, that's not true. It would be cool. It's not like breaking new ground, but like I'd like to see a little story about like what was Newt up to when like all the alien, like when that was happening the first time, like coming up to the point where Sigourney Weaver finds her. I think it'd be cool to do like what's that kid's name? Kevin, I think, is the character's name, right? His mom's screaming.
I think it is.
Eric.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric.
But yeah, like, what's that look like? How did his friend, dad, uncle, I don't remember the relationship with those characters.
His mom's new husband.
New husband die.
If you were to do this, I do think that you kind of have to retcon that he didn't just die up seemingly on impact with the tree. That like it would make for a much more engaging story if he survived with him for a little while.
Maybe there's a murder. Maybe it's not a dinosaur at all. A murder most foul.
Yeah, the twist is that Eric didn't like his new stepdad.
Sure. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
All right. Then Amelia, what did they get? Did they write answers to any of these?
Dalton did.
God bless him.
Dalton took Jurassic World. And he said that he would make the Indominus Rex use its abilities more. Rather than have it break into the Pterosaur I would have had it chase across the park by being hard to track. Maybe the other animals start to become more erratic and frightened when it's nearby, and they push the normal park systems past its breaking point. I guess kind of having it be, like, to speak for Dalton here, kind of having it be almost a suspense movie of, like, there is a... Oh, God, it's... just kind of make it like Jaws in that part of just like there's a horrible killer rampaging animal here, and make Masrani... I'm running away with your concept, Dalton. Make Masrani be like really hesitant to cause a panic, saying that they lost a dinosaur and shut down the park.
I'm just going to say, I think that as a general rule, if you think my screenplay isn't that good, how can I improve it? The phrase "make it more like Jaws" will usually help. Jaws is a very good movie.
Yeah, and like actually have there be some like personal stakes there and some personal tension between like an actual genuine fight between this is just going to cause people to panic and also will lose money, and also we need to find this horrible evil mutant dinosaur that can camouflage and hide from sensors.
Right. That would be a good movie.
Wow, that's a better movie.
Well, I mean, and also on a fundamental level, it would be great if the Indominus Rex's abilities mattered at all, ever.
Yeah.
They don't. Mm-hmm. The only one that matters is that it can talk to velociraptors.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
It's cool that it camouflaged for one time for 3 seconds.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right,
Dalton, good idea.
Did Amelia have?
Amelia chose Fallen Kingdom. Now I have to ask you guys. Well, no, I'm just going to say this. I am going to read Amelia's comment, even though I disagree with it very strongly. I'm going to be the bigger man, and I'm not just going to just say something else that I think would fix the movie better. This should have been like 90% spooky, stupid monster castle, in parentheses, the second half. I don't care for the first half at all, other than the development for Claire's character, which could still happen in another way. And with more time to develop characters and ideas, maybe it could have made the whole thing better. If they wanted to get dinos off the island, they could still have achieved that in another way without blowing up Isla Nublar, e.g. because of the people who bought things at auction, biosin, etc. I'm just going to weigh in. I think the haunted house part of the movie is incredibly stupid, and I dislike it very strongly. I think they should have done more with the volcano, but that's just me. This is fine. That's Amelia's answer. I'm also going to say I'm clearly in the minority. Everybody always says like the haunted house part is the best part, which is
it's at least like, a little different.
It's at least a little different. It's like this is like how I can't understand why some people are Protestants. I'm like, I have like I just lack.
We have to bring up Protestants every
I
video.
lack the lived experience to understand why you feel this way.
Well, ultimately because they're selfish.
I say,
I'm kidding. This is a joke.
well, the thing is, I just can't understand Protestantism because I don't think that having fun is bad. I do think that suffering is good, and that's why I'm
Yeah.
Right.
I saw the tweet you're referencing.
Anyway,
it's very funny though, and it's accurate.
It's a very accurate
All
tweet.
right.
I reference it mostly because of the accuracy. So now, Alex, how do you fix Dominion?
With a gun? No. Dominion's interesting.
Who gets the gun? Quetzalcoatlus?
Dominion's interesting?
In terms of this question.
Brand new sentence right here.
Because it's based on like what's in there. There's really the most space to kind of do literally anything with. And anything besides what they did. What's the one? Okay, so here it is. We've got Sam Neill, right? Sam Neill's coming back. Everyone loves Sam Neill. We pick up Sam Neill is he gets a call and he has to go in. He wrote a book, right? Because he was writing books in the first one. And it's his publisher. And his publisher's like, hey, we need you to go to New Hampshire to find this other author that works for our company. He's got a book coming out. And it's just In the Mouth of Madness instead. And I'm just watching In the Mouth of Madness instead of Jurassic World Dominion. And I'm like, wow, this movie's awesome. This is a great movie. Just kidding. I don't know, and I don't care, is my answer to this question. I've watched Jurassic World Dominion once. I had a fun time in the theater. I almost out of spite to everyone who constantly whines about it, I'd say do more with the locusts. Dinosaurs show up once, and that's the U.S. federal government shooting the last Apatosaurus in the skull. They're like, oh, well, that took 2 months to clear up. That was easy. And then it's just like, oh no, Dr. Henry Wu's made evil mutant bugs or something. Or Sam Neill has a fun dinosaur adventure and Ian Malcolm just dies. It's either one or the other. It's either a mean-spirited movie about genetics or slop.
Well, okay. Can we take advantage of the fact that we live in the future? And Alex, would you like to not talk about Dominion and be like, how would you change Rebirth?
Yes, actually,
and just not talk about Dominion.
Wait,
it cannot be saved.
I think Dominion can be saved. So I'll just jump in here to save Alex. The locust is the right answer. You expand the Crichton-esque aspect of the plot, and you have the dinosaurs be obstacles in the way that change the way the heroes wind up rectifying the situation. But it should not fund it. It should be about the locust. That was actually one of the better ideas, I think. It is not good. The movie doesn't feel like it's a dinosaur movie because the dinosaurs don't affect the way anything happens. It's just a chase scene, and then the main characters get where they want to go anyway. And so the dinosaurs could be completely cut out and it wouldn't change the story. If you fix that structural issue, I think it's actually probably it's probably a much more coherent movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be good if you just fix that, but I think you could save a lot of the problem.
Or you just do it's all by a whatever, and the big bad dinosaur of the movie is the Therizinosaurus for the whole time.
That would be great.
That'd be fun. But
that was fun. All right, now talk about Rebirth.
With it being the future, and I having seen Rebirth, that's a much easier question. And it's now I know it's supposed to be one thing, but there are two things. One of them is just like editing. I think it could be like a tight 100-minute movie and it would be better. And the other thing is just getting rid of the D-Rex and making it the T-Rex or the Spinosaurus instead. And cutting. Because I fundamentally, you don't need to. It's the 7th Jurassic Park movie. We're not reinventing the wheel here. It doesn't need to be, as long as it works, as long as it's a fun little action movie with dinosaurs on an island. And it is almost that. There's stuff in it that drags. But it is like all the pieces are there. I think maybe you carve out some of the characters too. I like the family, but I don't really think like they're fun. None of the like I think like the deadbeat boyfriend's a funny character. But I think you like if you were to like simplify it and maybe get rid of the weird. It really the answer to that one is just simplify it. Almost it's basically make Jurassic Park 3 but with more thought.
Yeah, I feel like the family and the main trio should just not be on separate journeys also.
They're all together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, or like have them kind of come together and separate at times would even work.
Oh,
Isn't that
yeah,
what they do,
and there are. Well, no, but
like
they
once on the
don't
island,
ever.
yeah.
They don't meet up on the island and then get separated. And honestly, I think a good way for that to have happened was, as much as I enjoyed watching the scene in the theater, the more that I've thought about it, the Rex River chase, nothing happens.
No.
There are no, you can literally completely cut from the moment she inflates that raft and puts it in the water, you can cut to after the river scene when they're just like going through the swamps where there's the weird Temnus bundle up in the tree, and nothing has changed. And I bet people wouldn't go, something's missing here.
Well, I guess it's a peril scene. Honestly, if you could make their side adventure relevant to like the final action, like, oh, they're periled at the facility by Velociraptor, or even like if you want to keep the Mutodons, which I don't know. But maybe like they're the whole time they're like they've escaped it on the raft, but maybe they're bringing the T-Rex to the facility.
Yes,
like
yeah, the T-Rex follows
something
them.
like that. Something to make that whole thing. You tie them together. You go whoop.
It is an amazingly common story problem in movies nowadays. Ooh. Like
Make-A-Wish.
Oh. Yes. I think maybe I don't know if it's just that like it's something people aren't learning when they're learning to screenwrite, or if it's something where it's like there's such an emphasis on set pieces for trailers and marketing that you kind of have to just write them in and you kind of have to frame your story around them. But that might make it like easier to miss integrating them into the story. I don't know what it is. But I feel like I remember thinking initially Rebirth was doing a pretty good job of not being an and then story. And then as soon as they were on the island, it was an and then story.
Yeah, like the time on the boat at the beginning is actually like great.
Yeah, well, like, and I think that's the strongest half of the movie, really. Like the T-Rex looks great in the scene. It's like it's a cool and well done scene, but it does not matter.
Yeah, I would have liked more with the Spinosaurus, actually. I liked those Spinosauruses. I thought they were neat.
They would have been fun. But yeah, like like the family capsizes, so the main characters have to divert their course, which means that now, like, that's great. Yes. I know it's the South Park thing again.
Well,
then they get onto the
got a deal for $1.5 billion. They're doing something right.
That's true.
All right. Well, that was a great question, and those were some fun answers.
Yes, indeed.
Bye.
Well, no, I have to read their names.
I know, I'm being silly.
Patron.
Alex, silly. Oh.
He's just a silly guy.
Oh, you can see I put together my new IKEA shelf in the background.
Oh, very nice.
I love when people join our Patreon and say that they're looking forward to the most helping the creator financially or supporting the creator financially. Hell yeah. That is why we want you joining. Anyway.
Hey, Tom.
Now for the names of patrons. The names are, insert nickname, Benjamin Seepser, Christopher Bellis Jones, Aaron Anderson, Adam Olos, Blacklight Virus, Black Spectral Pig, Brett Booth, Camphibia, Changu Raptor, Chaotic Kaiju, Dino Dom, Freddie Harper, G, Keenan Taylor, Kevin Preem, King Zashu, Life Finds a Way, Lincoln Rivenbark, Matthew Miller, Nacho Raptor, Noah Riccio, Nunez, R. Wesley Nipper, Raylan, Rusty HBK, Squat Pump, Telemiel, The Wigster, Touch Connors, Zaku Meister. I'm sorry, and Zaku Meister, because that's the last one.
We'll
Very,
all
very
be.
nice.
Very nice. Thank you all so much for your financial support
Indeed.
of the Skeleton Crew. And thank you to all of our patrons, because we couldn't keep doing this without you guys. Y'all are fantastic. So thank you, and we will see you next time we make a Q&A video, which is probably soon, because we're out of ideas.
We are not. We're out of time.
We're out of time.
And
is
we're
the
low
problem.
on people, so it's easy to do these with a low group.
Yes, this is very easy, and we may have some partially staffed Q&As in the future.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Bye, everybody.